Welcome to the Crypto Teacher Stock Channel. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. And guys, we see it playing out right now. Now, first, guys, we're going to get into DraftKings. Now, we know anytime the economy is bad, what saves the economy? We have drugs, betting, alcohol, and sex. So we know this. DraftKings is booming. Now DraftKings makes a deal with the Eagles Stadium. Guys, the fact is that basically betting is going to be big. I've been over Caesar. Now, of course, we have MGM. Once everything starts to open up, and it will, because we know the C word is nothing but a distraction. Once it opens up, these stocks are going to boom. Because the fact is that basically when people are sitting at home and they're getting a little free money, they're going to want to try to flip that free money. And how do you do it? Betting, especially when it comes to sports. People have been betting on sports forever. And the fact is now it's going to start being legal, and you're going to start seeing more laws in different states where it's going to be legal everywhere. And just like I stated, we slowly see casinos opening up in places I never thought would open. They're opening. Now, basically we have what? Playboy. When I said sex, Playboy now is going back public. You went private, it went public, then went private, then going back public again. So guys, make sure you're looking out for that. We know that virtual reality is going to bring a whole nother different world in. I mean, you think relationships are bad now. You wait until this virtual reality comes in when it comes to sex, guys. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, but definitely it's going to be big. So Playboy, remember, I'm not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. So please do your own research. But we all know when that virtual reality comes, Playboy is definitely going to be big. But guys, let's get into SPACs. Now, that's all we've been hearing about everywhere is SPAC. So now we have these, and nothing but VCs, but now we have these big CEOs of different companies. I'm talking about the funders creating these SPACs. And they're getting a piece of all companies that are coming through. That's all they're doing. This is nothing but a big Shark Tank. That's why it's called Shark Tank, because they're taking a bite out of your business, out of your income, guys. And that's all this is. That's all SPAC is nothing but a Shark Tank, where you having these sharks are going to be able to take these companies and just take the companies away from them eventually. They're getting a piece first. But we all know the end game is to take their business from them. So basically now we have a SPAC ETF that you can invest in. Remember, do your own research. But the fact is that if this is the only way that these companies are going to be able to go public is through a SPAC, it makes sense to ETF is going to boom. Now, getting back over to sports, guys. As we know, if you have my Nwo book, of course, this channel is new. You may not know about my New World Order book, but if you listen to my crypto channel, you know I have the New World Order book. Now, with the New World Order book in there, I state that football, basketball, all their salary is going to lower, but the NFL will take the biggest hit, and not only take the biggest hit, but eventually be no longer, because you can't take the NFL global. Any sport you can't take global would no longer be. But we see that the salary caps of these NFL players, basketball players, they're going to go down. Why? Because of the C word, exactly. In the name of the C word, it's going to be the first time in over 30 years that the salary cap is going to be going down. And the fact is that what is coming up? That's right, gaming. So the fact is that we start seeing these gamers making millions of dollars. So these gamers that have no athletic ability are going to start making more money than the actual NFL players. And why? Because, of course, globally, everybody plays as far as anybody can play a video game. Not everybody can play sports, but anybody can play a video game. I don't care who you are. So that's the reason why these games are so important, because eventually it's going to move into our reality world. And especially when the virtual reality comes, you're going to be able to be that LeBron James without having the athleticism. That's the whole point of virtual reality. Now, the Zillow founders are going to be doing, the name is called Picasso. It's basically taking the concept of timeshares and bringing it over into real estate. Well, basically, you will own a piece of the real estate. And basically, if you understand crypto and blockchain, this has already started. But the fact is that the way they're going to move it over from the legacy real estate and move it over to blockchain is this is the avenue. So basically, we have Picasso, where you're going to be able to own a percentage of that real estate. So basically, let's say if you have a secondary home, you only go there once or twice a year. So basically, you will own 30%, another person owns 30%, another person owns 30%. So that's how it will work. No, basically, you're not getting any profit for the home. Of course, basically, you'll get equity if the pricing goes up. But that's very interesting, because over in the crypto world, we already know that's already the concept that was going already. But now we see how they're going to move it over. So that's why you got to have to know both sides of the world. Now, lastly, guys, we know today is October 1st. We know if there was no deal, there was going to have what? Massive layoffs. So the fact is, guys, we know that, of course, the game. That's the reason why I did the video earlier today. So therefore, you understand that this is nothing but the Hegelian dialectic. They care nothing about the people. But the fact is, what do they believe in? What does the New World Order believe in, guys? Cause the problem, wait for the reaction, run in with the solution. So therefore, they are the last resort. So basically, they bring you down to your knees. So therefore, they come in with the solution. And we know next year what starts the solution? UBI, Universal Basic Income. But guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and spread this channel everywhere. You have a wonderful day.
I want to move on and point out another example of an ETF sort of capturing the zeitgeist. We've been talking about thematic ETFs, investing by theme rather than, say, industry necessarily. And now we're hearing about a SPAC ETF coming. Defiance has announced they're going to have a SPAC ETF. These are, of course, SPACs are special purpose acquisition companies. They've been on a tear so far this year. They're essentially blank check companies that seek to merge or acquire a private company within a couple of years. There's been 51 this year. They've raised $21 billion. That's 145% increase.
As this Playboy plans to return to the public markets through a merger with a special purpose acquisition company, Mountain Crest. Oh, that's nice. It's a nice sound. Mountain Crest Acquisition. When the deal is completed, Mountain Crest will change its name to Playboy Enterprises and change its NASDAQ ticker symbol to PLBY. Playboy stopped printing its flagship magazine earlier this year, opting for a fully digital offering. But Jim, DraftKings is worth like twice as much as MGM, and as the Penn Nationals involved, like it's a shot across the bow. Do you think that brick and mortar Las Vegas and other brick and mortar places, is it threatened by this move to what we're seeing online, or there's enough demand to go around for everyone?
Well, I think that Penn Nat has a fantastic strategy with Barstool, because you got brick and mortar around the country, and you've got Barstool making an unbelievable book. DraftKings has, I mean, I'm familiar with them. They're a sponsor of Bull Market Fantasy, my show online. DraftKings has a lot of money, and they're becoming, I'd say, what I would say is first mover advantage to be able to block a lot of other companies. Meanwhile, I think the casino companies have been caught flat-footed. They're more worried about Macau or worried about the issues that Jane Wells pointed out than they are about gambling.